Hello, my name is Dr. Lewis. It's a pleasure to meet you, even though it is not under the most ideal circumstance. Please don't be alarmed. This is all for precautionary measures. I understand that you feel as though you may be infected. Is that correct? Okay. May I see the injury or the wound? Okay. Let's see. This does show signs of CBI. Cordyceps brain infection is the term. How long now have you had this? Really? Huh. 3 days. Thank you. Okay, well, this is quite interesting. Yeah, you have to forgive me. Are you at all familiar with the infection and how it works, or the history? Let me just bear with me a moment. What I'll do is we'll clean and dress the wound, and then I'll perform a little health examination, and then some additional tests just to determine your cognitive ability and sensory perception, hearing, and an eye exam. Okay? But I have to give some pause here because I heard about your case and I have made inquiry to a particular individual up north, Massachusetts. He runs a very high-tech facility. This was the first case we heard of its kind, so you have to forgive me. The CBI, the cordyceps brain infection, sorry, its scientific name is Ophiocordyceps unilateralis. It is a parasite. Originally, this parasite would infect insects, ants, for instance. It is a fungal infection, and what happens is the fungus infects the brain of the host, and the host loses all cognitive abilities and well, for humans, lose their humanity, their ability to reason, and they become a very base animal, extremely aggressive. The infection, as it occurs in humans, it takes place within 1 to 2 days. Being as though this is now you said third day, fourth. At this stage, you should not have any cognitive ability whatsoever. You would, for all intents and purposes, be an infected, what they call a learner. You may have heard of seeing them. They wander around until they see or hear and not infected, and then they run, chase them down. Well, that doesn't seem to be the case with you, even though you are showing an infected, typical injury. Yeah. So that is the first 1 to 2 days. After that, within about a week to 2 weeks, as the infection progresses, the host loses, the infection begins to take over, spread over the head, and the host begins to lose the visual cortex. Infection begins to take over the visual cortex. Within about 1 to 3 years time, the host has become severely inundated with hardening of the head to a degree where they no longer are able to see. And because they lose their sight, they become what you may have heard is called a clicker. This is stage 3 of the infection. And the host, the infected host, the clicker, as they call it, has now resorted to using echolocation to find another host to spread the infection. About a decade after that, the host has become completely hardened in the cordyceps plates all over its body. And this is what is known as, I believe, a bloater is the street word for it. It's just a massive individual, very thick cordyceps layers or plates all over the body. Eventually the host would die and will begin to emit spores to further spread the infection. So that is a brief rundown of how CBI works. It all started with infected crops that came from South America, Middle East, Europe. They were all first to go. And then the crops finally found an infection, a fungus, the advanced form of Ophiocordyceps unilateralis found its way here to the United States. I believe Austin, Texas was first, if I'm not mistaken. In any case, all right. Let me tend to your wound. Let's get a second. What I do is I would like to set you up here with an IV, give you some fluids, help to calm you down. I'm sure you are very anxious. and nervous at this time. Is that correct? But as I've said, either this is not CBI, or there's something else going on with you. So let's get the wound cleaned up and addressed, and then we'll move on from there, okay? All right. Do you have any questions for me thus far? The infection and the number of victims continues to escalate. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, around the same time the quarantine zone here in Philadelphia was started and continues to be maintained. It wasn't shortly after that the Pittsburgh quarantine zone fell. Civilians there were not, it became a very turbulent situation and very dangerous there. We have heightened FEDRA, and the federal government has heightened its military presence here in Philadelphia, so we feel very fortunate and safe that the same thing that happened to Pittsburgh won't happen here. And we are, of course, in contact with Boston as well. They have a very state-of-the-art, very militarized quarantine zone. So yes, it continues to spread. Unfortunately, the outbreak is getting worse, but we are doing our best to try and keep it at bay and to understand it and study it and try to come up with a cure. Okay. All right, let's attend to that one. I think I've talked long enough. Just a moment. All right. Let me get some clean bandage here. What I'm going to do is we'll clean the wound with a very topical antibiotic, and then after that, we'll give you the IV, and then we'll perform some additional tests, okay? Does that sound acceptable to you? Okay. I see that you have your gear here. I would just like to ask, how was it? How was it that you came to be to become infected, or at least to receive that injury? Were you outside of the quarantine zone? Because you do realize that's a capital offense, correct? And I'm obligated to tell the appropriate authorities, and especially those in charge here in the quarantine zone, of any such situation. Now, normally, if Would you mind rolling your sleeve up again? Thank you. Okay. Let me just get that. A little bit of this is probably going to sting. Okay, I'm just going to clean the wound here. This infection does look to be, like you said, it's ongoing stage here. Alright. But do you feel that you still have full feeling and control of your... Can you make a fist with that hand? Okay. I'm going to make a fist myself like this. I want you to try to squeeze my hand as hard as you can, okay? Okay? Oh, let's go. Aside from that, it looks like a potential CBI, cordyceps brain infection. It also looks a little bit infected on the outer surface. So I'm going to clean that up, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a dose here. Of just a little antibiotic. And just a little pinch. Okay, there we go. And just put a little topical cream on here. Okay. Just get a bandage here for you. There's actually one last thing I do want to perform here. I just want to draw a blood sample, okay? Right from the area. Again, just another pinch. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay. fill up this vial. Okay. Okay. Just place your finger here. And just put this right on the cotton. Just leave that there. And then bandage. Okay. Go. And that part. There we go. And I'm just gonna wrap this around arm. This will keep the infection. This will at least keep the site clean and get it start healing. Just in case you do have CBI. Okay. And just tape that up. There we go. Okay. So I'm just going to send this blood sample off to a laboratory. Just to run a few tests and see what's so special about you and your blood. Because from what I can tell, and from the victims, unfortunate that I've had to treat, amputate, it never ends well, unfortunately. Okay, just for a record, I would like to just ask you a few questions, if that's all right. Okay. When did you first notice your injury or the infection? Okay. Have you been experiencing any fevers, dizziness, nausea, anything like that? Okay. Do you have any history of diabetes, high blood pressure, family history of cancer, anything along those lines? Okay. Are you currently taking any medication? Or have you around the time of the injury? Or in the last, say, year or so? Okay. Do you have any family members? In the unlikely event anything should happen to you, is anyone that you should notify? Okay. Okay. All right. What I'd like to do now is just perform a eye exam. Take a look at your pupils and see if there's any signs of the infection. Okay? So for now, I just want you to stare straight ahead right here. Okay? Okay? Okay. Just keep staring. Okay. Excellent. Again, you stare straight ahead right here. Okay? I'm just gonna open it wide just a little bit there. Okay. Now I'm just gonna do the same on this side. Just keep looking straight ahead. Okay. So, looking back a few times there. Okay. I just want to get my finger over here. Stare at my finger there. Okay. And I just want to do the same thing. Just stare at my finger on this side. I do see signs of CBI. You are definitely infected. But again, this is a very unique situation that I have not dealt with before, so I'm not sure if you are having a delayed response. Okay, sorry, I will have you up and out of these restraints soon enough. Just you understand we need to take precautionary measures to ensure the safety of everyone involved, including yourself. But for now, the preliminary diagnosis is you are infected, unfortunately. However, the response to the infection has now taken over your higher brain functions. Okay. Can now what I want you to do for me is just follow my finger. Okay. Okay. You do seem to have control over your eyes and your senses. You're able to hold a conversation with me and follow commands and such. So, alright. Now I just want you to look straight at me, but use your peripheral vision to tell me when one of my fingers or both of them are up or down. Okay? Here we go. Excellent. Now I'm just going to do similar to the following my finger with your eyes. Do the same with the light. Okay? Just going to come down the side. Slowly come across. Okay. Doing great. Just keep your eye on the light. You're doing excellent. Okay. Great. This is going to be the last of the visual test. Just want you to look at this chart, and then from top to bottom, I want you to just read to me all the way down to the smallest line that you can read, okay? Excellent. Now we're going to do the same on this side. Just read the series of numbers all the way down to the smallest set that you can read, okay? Okay, excellent. Just gonna make a few notes here. Mature signs of advanced stage of CPI past visual cortex test subject. Sorry, if you don't mind, what year were you born? Thank you. Okay. Now this next series of tests, going to test your hearing. Okay. This is the final test, and let's get that IV administered. I apologize. Alright, it's going to be just a pinch. Okay. It's just some fluids that you might normally receive at an emergency room. Have a little bit of a small amount of morphine as well. Just to help you relax, okay? Let's get this here. Alright. Okay. Yeah. I should do it. Okay. Alright. So we're going to begin now with the auditory test. But first, I want to help you just to relax. These are some experimental tests that some of us have created to help our patients, no matter whether they're someone such in your situation or anyone that has been, with any kind of injury or mental duress, especially with these times. Okay, so as the IV begins to slowly take its effect, this is additional measure to help calm your mind. I know you're feeling very anxious. You have a lot of questions, I'm sure, as do we. This is quite a remarkable and unique situation, but rest assured we are going to take very good care of you. Just relax. Just stare at my hand. Follow my hand. That's it. Hopefully you slowly begin to feel your anxiety begin to subside. That's it. Just let your mind come down to a nice, moderate, stress-free level. That's it. Just reach out here slowly. Just remove stress, anything neutral in your mind. Okay? Alright, just move over to this side. Do the same thing here. Just watch my hand. Just allow my hand to help guide your mind into a very safe place. You are safe. Philadelphia Federal Quarantine Zone is one of the safest in the United States. Which reminds me, if you know of anyone that they can be reached, you can let them know to come here. Right. Just relax your mind. Right now you're in a very safe place. Nothing can reach you here. We are going to take very good care of you. Therefore, to ensure quality of life. Most professional treatment for all of our patients, especially those in their circumstance. Although yours again is very unique. Now you're starting to feel a little more relaxed. If you begin to feel yourself drift off to sleep, that's perfectly fine. We'll let you rest here in this makeshift infirmary of ours. And make sure someone escorts you with an armed security officer. Escort you back to your living quarters. But I would like you to think about the possibility of transferring up north to the Massachusetts quarantine zone, Boston. There is a facility not far from Boston, run by a very distinguished gentleman. I believe you would love to meet. Just one last time. And I just want to perform some final hearing tests. I'm going to create some sounds for you to make sure you still have all your faculties. Okay. Just have this simple medical tool case. Are you able to hear these sounds? Can you hear me as I gently tap? Okay. And how about that sound? Can you hear that? Okay. Now let's move over to your right ear. Can you hear that? And then again, I tap all of my fingers. I'm just going to move from one ear to the other, one side of your head to the other. And you're still able to hear and track those sounds, correct? Okay. Still? Yes? Okay. Excellent. Okay, again, just another test here. Can you hear these sounds on the left side? Okay. And on your right side. Excellent. And just one final test. Speaking to you on the side. Okay, very good. Please repeat words that I am saying. Apple, circus, orangutan, village, meteor, speaking to you on the side. Okay, please listen and repeat the words that I'm saying. Chestnut, serendipity, vehicle, purpose, seem to be starting to fade out, go to sleep at this time. That's quite alright, just let yourself drift off. Again, we'll have someone take care of you, escort you back to your living quarters. I want you to feel rest assured that while you do show signs of being affected with cordyceps, brain infection that do not seem to be showing any signs of the fungus taking over your prior brain functions. So just go to sleep. Learn your mind.